Hey friends, it's Dimitri with Bashka Streetwear. Today I wanted to discuss how to move old or excess inventory that you might have in a quick fashion. So you might be stocking inventory and you might be selling clothing and all that kind of stuff, but from time to time you might have some old designs, maybe you have some unpopular stuff, maybe you have some stragglers like weird sizes or one or two pieces of clothing that just aren't moving, and you might want to get rid of that, move on to new collections, new designs, and basically you need that cash to infuse back into your business, right? Because essentially when you're running a clothing brand, all you're doing is cycling cash back in, taking cash out, right? You have this whole cash flow system in order for you to make money, grow your brand, and to keep things moving forward. And in order to do that, you have to keep selling your inventory every single day, every single month, season to season. You don't want a bunch of stuff piling up. Now, ideally, as I've mentioned in previous videos, you want to create a system, if you could, in a perfect world, where it's just in time, where customer orders something and it's manufactured and sent out in a reasonable amount of time. Well, when you're in a clothing brand, oftentimes that's not feasible in many circumstances. There's certain products or custom products and stuff like that where you just can't make just one off and do one at a time. You have to order larger quantities of clothing, which means that you have to basically stock that inventory. So having inventory lingering and not having it moving is always a challenge sometimes. Sometimes you might even have something that's popular or the design's really good, but it's just not moving. And I will give you 3 quick ways where you can really get stuff moving from my personal experience. So the first one, and this is going to go from basically like the cheapest or most low effort to kind of a little bit more, you can spend money or invest money to move inventory in a sense. So the first one is to have a sale. This one is the fastest thing that you can do. Basically, you can just mark down stuff, do 10, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50% sale on items, do a quick post or blurb, whatever social media that you're using, let your customers know that you're having a sale, and you could just move a bunch of inventory that way. Really, you don't want to do it too often. I've mentioned this in previous videos, because if you constantly have sales on your brand, it might devalue it. It might make it look as, not as a higher up brand, unless you have some crazy brand that you're running and you're just always doing sales. There are businesses like that where they basically have sales 24/7 because they mark up their products so high, and then they basically do like a 50% sale, but it's really marked down to what they want to sell it. There's some grocery stores that do this kind of stuff. Although, really, if you are running a clothing brand, streetwear brand, you don't want to do this kind of thing. But from time to time, having a sale is a good thing. I typically do it once or twice a year. One type of sale that would be very beneficial for moving inventory would be a BOGO. So buy one, get one free, or buy one, get one half off. That way you're incentivizing the customer to basically get 2 pieces, right? If they buy one, they're going to get one for free, and you already moved 2 pieces of inventory. So that's definitely something that you can do, and it's super quick. It's very, very low effort. That's the thing with this one. Now, on to the mystery box. This is somewhat related to a sale, because typically these are discounted. And these require kind of a mid-level of effort. The reason why is, let's say that you are really catering to your customer, and you have let's say that you have customers that ordered 4, 5, 6 times. Now, what you would want to do ideally if you are doing a mystery box is, let's say you're sending a mystery box with 3 t-shirts, pants, and a hat or something like that, like 5 items. you'd want to send that customer that already ordered multiple times new items. So that would mean that you would have to kind of go back into their orders, make sure that you're not sending out the same stuff, because that would kind of suck for the customer if they received items that they already have. Like, what if you gave them a mystery box and 2 of the t-shirts were literally items that they already purchased? That would not be as good of a customer experience. So that's the thing with that. But on the flip side, mystery boxes are pretty fun. This is a fun way to do it. And it is a way to move out of all of these methods. It might be a method that you can move the most inventory fast. Most inventory moved. And the reason why is because it's similar to a sale, but you're really bundling stuff up here. And it gives the customer like an incentive. It's also great for indecisive customers. I've had people message me from time to time asking if I had a mystery box. I don't have that set up on my website right now because I haven't really, I guess, needed it or thought of it, but maybe I will try to do that. Although I have and do sell mystery boxes of books, and those have been selling pretty well. Like I mentioned in previous videos, I sell books. It's a form of advertising because they basically link when I post them, they go into Google Shopping and they basically have links back to my website so people can find it that way. And I do it kind of just for fun. But I have done mystery boxes, so they do work. They're a great way to move chunk of inventory at once. So definitely think about doing something like that. But you might want to put a little bit of thought into, like I said, making sure that you're not sending out stuff that the customer already has. That way it's going to be a better experience for them. And if you do it again in the future, they might do that again and purchase it. So the last one we're going to talk about is the most expensive out of these things. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to spend thousands of dollars, right? It does mean that it's basically a small investment, but it can pay off. So let's just say, for example's sake, if you spend $50, but you get $150 in sales, right? That's an investment that was worth it, basically, right? And you might have inventory. Let's say you're struggling to move like a particular item, that like the design, and you think it's not popular. It really could be that you just didn't advertise that product well enough and you haven't found the correct eyes to see it. There's been many times where I've made products in the past where it kind of was like really selling slow at first, but for some reason the next month or two, like the sales dramatically picked up, probably because I had new customers come into the store. Typically I'm running ads on social media all the time, so there's always new people coming through, and that's really helpful when you have advertising. You're having more eyes on your product, right? So new eyes. And this is just really helpful. Sometimes you just you have a good product, but you just don't have the right people seeing it. Another form of advertising, this is kind of weird. It's actually a really, really cheap way. It's basically free form of advertising, is placement. I've learned this from experience. There might be some older items or just a couple old items lingering, like maybe I only have 1 or 2 literally left of an item. And sometimes the best way to advertise it without spending even any dollars is placement. So what that means is putting it to the forefront of your website, the very first page. You might have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages of products, which is, that's a good thing. You have a good variety selection for your customers, and someone could pick something out of all that. But you might have an older item or a bunch of excess inventory that's not selling, and it could be because it's in the back of your website. It's on the very last page. It's on the 8th page, right? And bringing some of that old inventory to the front, that's a really great way, and that's also a form of advertising in a sense, and it's free. So really think about placement. If you're having those lingering old items, put it on the front of your page, and you might see that they might move faster. So those are the three main methods of moving old or excess inventory. Now this one's kind of funny. It's going to be a bonus one, but I'm going to write it down. Bonus is do nothing. Sometimes with running a brand, it just might be a waiting game. You know, you just maybe you have excess inventory, but it's not really like damaging your brand as much, and you don't really need to have a cash infusion. This stuff is really important when you need to have a cash infusion to your business to keep it running, to make money, to pay your bills and all that kind of stuff. But really, sometimes you might have old stuff and you just do nothing. And let's say just over the weeks and months, you just have new customers and new followers come to your page, and they find that old inventory by themselves, and then it sells. That happens obviously all the time with businesses. So if you're lazy and it's not really pressing, you could do nothing and it still will move, obviously. So that's just it's funny, but it's true. It's kind of a joke. So yeah, those are the three main methods of moving older excess inventory. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.